Behind the renowned novels, beneath the unforgettable characters, and within the profound philosophies, we find the extraordinary mind of Fyodor Dostoevsky, a luminary who navigated the depths of human psychology and existential dilemmas with an uncanny understanding. His works, not just narratives but experiences, have dared us to question, challenged our comforts, and still remain relevant in our contemporary landscape. Today, we take a fascinating journey into the labyrinth of his intellect, hoping to emerge with a better understanding of the man who brought to life the likes of Raskolnikov, Prince Mishkin, and Ivan Karamazov. Dostoevsky was no ordinary thinker. His mind was a canvas painted with intricate strokes of existential quandaries and psychosomatic complexities. It is from this fertile ground that characters like Raskolnikov, the troubled protagonist of Crime and Punishment, took shape, exemplifying the disquietude of human existence. When we delve into the abyss of Raskolnikov's psyche, we are not merely exploring a character, but peering into the workings of Dostoevsky's mind itself. Dostoevsky's life was characterized by immense suffering and hardship. From his early years spent in a hospital for the poor to his exile in Siberia, this suffering etched indelible marks on his psyche, feeding his perception of the human condition and shaping his literary universe. His works became a reflection of his mental and emotional state, a mirror reflecting his understanding of human psychology, his wrestling with faith, and his insight into existential dread. While his characters were a product of his mind, they also served as an exploration of it. His novels become a space for psychological and philosophical inquiry, where characters are not merely characters, but conduits for Dostoevsky's psychological experimentation. His writings frequently dwell on the exploration of human psyche, morality, free will, and the nature of suffering, offering readers an immersive plunge into the depths of consciousness. As we journey through his mind, we encounter a realm of existential angst, religious doubt, and deep-rooted introspection. Dostoevsky's characters, each a facet of his contemplations, bring forth the dialogues he engaged with himself, grappling with questions that the writer believed were fundamental to our existence. Let's take a step further into this labyrinth, examining the philosophical ideas that Dostoevsky explored through his iconic characters. Dostoevsky's life was not one of comfort or complacency, and his philosophy didn't shy away from the darker realities of existence. His experiences with suffering allowed him to dissect and explore its anatomy in his works. We see this most vividly in characters such as Ivan Karamazov from the Brothers Karamazov, who is racked by existential despair and spiritual disillusionment. Ivan Karamazov, a keen intellectual and a rationalist, grapples with the theological problem of evil. He rejects a God who would allow the suffering and pain we see around us, particularly the suffering of innocent children. This, to Ivan and, by extension, Dostoevsky, is the crux of the human predicament. How can we reconcile a loving God with a world filled with such suffering? However, Dostoevsky doesn't just lay bare the problem. He explores potential solutions through his characters. Alyosha Karamazov, Ivan's brother and a deeply spiritual character, offers an alternative response to suffering. He stresses the transformative power of suffering, viewing it as a path to empathy, understanding, and ultimately, spiritual growth. Through Alyosha, Dostoevsky suggests that while suffering is a painful aspect of existence, it can lead to profound personal and spiritual transformation. As we delve deeper into Dostoevsky's world, we see a mind consumed by life's most profound questions. His grappling with the problem of evil and suffering reflects a struggle many of us face in our lives. But let's not stop here. Let's continue to explore the corners of his mind, uncovering the insights he offers through his powerful narratives. Dostoevsky's philosophy also delves into the double-edged sword of freedom and responsibility. He investigates these themes through the character of Raskolnikov in Crime and Punishment. Raskolnikov, driven by his theory of the extraordinary man, comes to believe that certain individuals, himself included, can transgress moral boundaries if it serves a higher purpose. To prove this theory, he commits a horrific crime, a murder. Yet, he soon grapples with the immense guilt and psychological turmoil of his actions. Freedom to him, once a ticket to greatness, becomes a hell of remorse and conscience. His freedom to act outside of societal norms does not lead to the liberation or empowerment he had envisioned. Instead, he's driven into isolation and mental anguish. Through Raskolnikov, Dostoevsky explores how unbounded freedom, when devoid of moral responsibility, can lead to self-destruction. Freedom, in Dostoevsky's world, is not a ticket to do as one pleases, but an invitation to bear the weight of one's actions responsibly. As we move forward, let's reflect on the immense wisdom that Dostoevsky imparts on freedom and responsibility. It's not just about having the freedom to act, but about understanding the responsibility that comes with our actions. Let's unravel more from the depths of Dostoevsky's mind in our journey ahead. Suffering, a common thread in Dostoevsky's work, is not portrayed as a mere torment to be avoided, but as an integral part of human existence that carries profound significance. Consider the character of Prince Mishkin in The Idiot. Mishkin, a figure of innocence and goodness, is not immune to suffering, but experiences it more intensely due to his hypersensitive nature. Yet, it's through his suffering that he acquires a deep understanding of humanity and love. His suffering enables him to see the pain in others, thereby forging connections and empathy. Similarly, in Notes from Underground, the unnamed narrator revels in his anguish. Suffering to him becomes an assertion of his freedom and individuality, his way of rebelling against the deterministic notions of the society. Dostoevsky does not glorify suffering, but explores its role in personal growth, empathy, and existential freedom. It's through suffering, he argues, that we come face to face with our authentic selves. With this understanding of suffering in mind, let's delve deeper into the complexity of Dostoevsky's thought. The philosopher novelist invites us to examine our own hardships and trials, not as mere hindrances, but as stepping stones towards self-discovery and wisdom. One cannot delve into the mind of Fyodor Dostoevsky without addressing his acute portrayal of the duality of human nature. In Crime and Punishment, the protagonist Raskolnikov is a testament to this duality. Raskolnikov, an impoverished law student, concocts a theory that certain extraordinary individuals are above the moral laws that govern the common populace. He justifies his murder of an old pawnbroker with this theory, only to be tormented by guilt and paranoia thereafter. In Raskolnikov, Dostoevsky illustrates the potential for good and evil within each person. The character's inner conflict represents the struggle between our altruistic and selfish impulses, our capacity for empathy versus our inclination towards indifference. This duality is further emphasized in the Brothers Karamazov, where each of the three brothers, Dmitri, Ivan, and Alyosha, embodies different aspects of the human spirit: sensualism, intellect, and faith. Dostoevsky suggests that these seemingly disparate elements coexist within every individual, often leading to inner turmoil. Dostoevsky's works compel us to confront and reconcile the contradictions within ourselves. His exploration of duality prompts us to question, who are we at our core? Are we capable of discerning and choosing between right and wrong? Or are we victims of our circumstances and desires? As we move further into the intricacies of Dostoevsky's philosophical insights, we're invited to contemplate these profound questions about our own nature. In his novel, Crime and Punishment, Raskolnikov's journey ends not in desolation, but in redemption. After enduring intense mental anguish and physical hardship, he confesses his crime and accepts his punishment. Through his suffering, Raskolnikov discovers his humanity and finds redemption. Similarly, in The Brothers Karamazov, the character of Dmitri endures trials that lead him to a deeper understanding of himself and his responsibility towards others. Despite his wild and impulsive nature, Dmitri accepts his suffering as a necessary step towards moral and spiritual redemption. Dostoevsky, through his characters, proposes that suffering isn't meaningless, but a catalyst for profound personal growth and transformation. It's through our trials and tribulations that we come face to face with our true selves, our shortcomings, and our potential for change. In summary, the mind of Fyodor Dostoevsky offers a profound insight into the human condition. His works challenge us to confront our own duality, question our moral judgments, and discover redemption through suffering. His writings, layered with psychological depth and philosophical insight, continue to resonate with readers worldwide, leading us on a journey of self-discovery and introspection. As we conclude this exploration into the mind of Fyodor Dostoevsky, let's remember that the questions he posed in his works are as relevant today as they were in his time. Each of us, in our own unique journey, grapples with the duality within seeks purpose in the chaos of existence, and hopes for redemption in the face of adversity. By engaging with Dostoevsky's profound insights, we might find a mirror that reflects our own struggles and perhaps guides us towards greater understanding and personal growth. Thank you for joining us in this fascinating exploration. Until next time.